We are presenting the Iglesianicristo Sign Language Guide, Android and iOS version. We gladly introduce the new interface of our INC Sign Language Guide, Android, and the much-awaited iOS version. The INC Sign Language Apps is a project of the Christian Society for the Deaf under the Christian Family Organizations Office of the Iglesianicristo Church of Christ. It is a part of the Church's continuous intensive efforts to reach out to and care for the deaf, INC members and non-members alike. This free sign language app includes the following features: 8,000 plus vocabulary entries, all in video, customizable video playback speeds, examples of signed phrases and sentences, categorized everyday signs like alphabet, numbers, colors, greetings, educational terms, medical terms, legal terms, Iglesianicristo and religious terms, and many more. User maintainable favorites category, fast search and voice search. All features are available offline. And since these sign language applications contain phrases concerning the Iglesianicristo and religious terms, we can use these apps in inviting more deaf fellow men to learn the basic doctrines being taught inside the church. For more information, please visit www.iglesianicristo.net, www.facebook.com/Christian Family Organizations, www.facebook.com Christian Society for the Deaf. Thank you for your support.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Another episode of Explore Mountain States.
That's it for the weather
and
update.
Moving on to our district news update.
Only here
on INCRadio Mountain States.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You're tuning in here live to INCRadio Mountain States. I'm your host for today, Sister Princess Rosano, broadcasting live from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is very, very, very hot here right now. It is over 100 degrees, and it's been so the past few weeks. So if you're out here in Las Vegas, make sure you're staying hydrated, putting on your sunscreen, protecting yourself, especially even in Arizona. I feel like it's much hotter there. So anyway, hello and greetings from the Mountain States District. Thank you so much for tuning into INCRadio Mountain States. It's currently 4 p.m. We're right on the dot. We're so grateful to have you joining us here today. And of course, we want to just give a quick shout out to the crew. We have Sister Macy on the road right now, and then we have Brother Ron Pobletti. Hi, how are you today, Brother Ron?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to INCRadio Mountain States.
We're really excited to have everybody tuned in today. So if you don't already know, we are doing a travel guide series for the month of July, and we're talking about today, last week we did by air, and so today we're talking about planning your perfect road trip. And especially here in Mountain States, because we have 5 states that compose the whole district, there's a lot of road trips that a lot of us do, especially our officers when we travel to the other states, when the brethren travel for activities and such, which we'll talk about later. And so in this episode, we really want to be able to provide you a travel guide and dive into planning the ultimate road trip, right? So from choosing your perfect route and packing the essentials and even discovering hidden gems around the states and staying safe on the road, we want to give you all the tips and all the insight that you need for unforgettable road trips. So of course, join us here today as we want to share advice that we've had from our personal experiences to help you hit the road with confidence and with excitement. And we really hope that all of you who are tuned in the live chat will also stay engaged with us and give your insight, because we know a lot of brethren here in Mountain States and all over the world do love to travel. And so road trips, I feel like, are always one of my favorite ways to travel. Lately, I've been traveling by air, but I always love a good road trip, especially with good company. So I just want to say hello to the live chat. If you are watching today here live on YouTube, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and leave your comments and greetings with your hashtag local congregation so that we can continue to recognize your participation here with us. You guys are always so lively and so engaged with us. Hello po to everyone in the live chat. I do see a few brethren here. Sister Melka Newcomb, hello po Ka Melka. And then just a quick shout out to Ka Norma Sonson. She was our first commenter. So we are excited to have all of you in the live chat. And we do want to ask you actually, before we continue on with our show, what your favorite place is that you've traveled so far to on the road. So if you've ever had a road trip where you planned your most memorable road trip, what place did you travel to? And what do you enjoy most about road trips? So your favorite place you've traveled to via road trip and what you love most about road trips. So be sure to have that in I see the live chat going. So make sure you answer our questions so that we can call on your comments in a bit. And then I just want to give a quick shout out to Ka Justin Ramos. I do see him in the chat as well. So hi, Ka Justin. And moving on, right now, our district has been quite busy. So we just want to promote one of the things that we have been most busy with and that brethren and officers have been preparing very hard for. In celebration for our 110th anniversary of the Church of Christ, we are holding our 110th our 110th concert here in Mountain States. So the 110 concert is going to be held on July 28th at 5 p.m. And there's going to be a venue in each region. So for the Nevada region, it's going to be held at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or UNLV Ham Hall. Okay, so it's at Ham Hall, 5 p.m., July 28th. And we also have sites in the other regions of Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. So if you would like more information on this, please see your local CFO or Christian Family Organization officer so that they can provide you more details on where the sites would be for the other regions. And we do want to mention also that the registration is now open. So if you would like to register, which we highly, highly encourage you to do so, please see, again, your local Christian Family Organization officer so that they can provide you the best way to register for this really exciting event. I myself, I have seen how hard, I haven't seen exactly what they're doing, but I hear it's going to be really, really good from what the brethren who are involved, a lot of the organizers and the performers, they're saying if there's a concert you have to see, it's going to be a 110 concert. I hear that they're working really hard every weekend during the week, meeting, to be able to prepare. So please, 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 July 28th at 5 p.m., set some time aside so that you can see this wonderful production. We're really, really excited for it. I myself am really, really excited for it. It's one of the first times I don't think I'm performing for, I'm usually performing for the district concerts, but this year we have a lot of new faces who are performing, which I'm excited to see. So please, 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 if you have time to set aside, make sure you set aside your time so that you can join and see the 110 concert. So all the brethren are working really, really hard for that. Moving forward, I do just want to say hello to the live chat. So again, a quick shout out to Ka Norma Sansan. She was our first commenter. She said, hello, po, brothers and sisters. Happy watching from South Las Vegas. Woo, SLV. Then we have Mario Oka. Said, good morning here in the Philippines. Enjoy watching. Greetings from the local of Brixtonville, district of Caloocan North. And thank you for watching from the Philippines. Well, good morning to you. And then we have Kayleen said, good afternoon, Mountain States from Salt Lake City. Kamelka Newcomb says, hello to our awesome hosts and greetings to everyone in the live chat and all tuning in to INC Radio Mountain States from the Newcomb family. Hashtag Henderson, hashtag MTS Rock Solid. Hello po, Kamelka. We have Kalito Balyada from Las Vegas says happy Saturday to all. Again, Brother Justin also said his greetings from Gilbert. He said, thank you, Mountain States, INC Radio, for another great episode. Thank you for your support. We have Rosalinda Villada from Las Vegas saying hello. And then we also have, I saw my mom's name on here. Sister Olive, hello, Mom. So she said South Las Vegas, hello, po. And she gave really cute emojis. So go see that in the live chat. And then last but not least for now, we have Kaferdi Tan. Happy listening from the Tan family from Las Vegas. So we have our live chat going. Right now, we are currently at 18 watching now, and we would love to see that number grow high. So in the next 10 minutes, let's move that up to 25. So if you haven't already shared the link, share the link to one of your friends, family members, so that they can tune in and watch our show for today, because we do have a very informative topic. It's quite informative. There's going to be a lot of things to talk about, especially tips that would be helpful if you're living here in the District of Mountain States. So right now today, like I mentioned, we do have Brother Ron and Sister Macy. Sister Macy is on the road, ironically, as we talk about road trips. So we're going to wait for her to safely be in a place where she can talk with us. But we do have Brother Ron. Hi, Brother Ron. How are you?
Doing great. Not on the road today.
Well, we're excited that you're in home so that you can discuss with us this really fun topic of road trips. In the past, our district was established in 2017, correct?
Correct.
So, yes. So, but even prior to our district being established, we would do road trips to California when we were Southern California or Southeast before we split. So, road trips, I won't say I'm an expert, but I'm pretty familiar. Brother Ron has his RV, so I know that we can't say he's an expert on road trips. I mean, that's what he's been doing with for his retirement. So we're excited to have you give some insights on, give a lot of insight really on what we do when we travel on the road. So I guess our first question or our first portion for our topic is going to be about preparation. When you're planning for your trip, what are the steps that you do? Like when you're choosing a destination, how do you know where you want to go?
As far as myself, a lot of times, and it's because of my duty too. Ever since we were in Southern California, I would travel to Anaheim, even from Las Vegas. So it was like every other week or sometimes even weekly. So road tripping has been, I would say, since I was younger as well, my family took a lot of road trips. So I was kind of like my dad's co-pilot when we were traveling. So yeah, it's never, it started way back then and it hasn't stopped. I continued up to now. So
I feel similarly because when we were SoCal, we would also travel a lot. My dad would be the one taking us to road trips, and we would frequently travel between California and here because my family lived out there. So the 4.5 hour trip to Pasadena from Las Vegas was always just like your typical every few months. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I relate to that. I guess when you're choosing in your retirement now, we post a lot on social media with your destination trips. How do you choose where you want to go?
For us, my wife and I, we've been traveling quite a bit, but it's also because I do a lot of photography on the side. So the places that we want to visit are basically, we're really fortunate here in Mountain States because there's so many different national parks national monuments to go to. So that's kind of our on our list of places that we want to go visit. So we've pretty much tackled, oh, I would say out of 100 plus parks and monuments, we're like in the 40s as far as visiting
Just a
these.
lot.
Yeah. So and there's still a lot more to visit. So it's kind of a goal to go visit each one, but it's basically preparation is just for one deciding where you want to go.
Hmm. If
Um,
there's so many places to choose from, do you do like how do you do your research?
I do a lot of research online. I'll be on like here on YouTube looking at other videos that gives you a lot of ideas on where to go. Especially on social media too, you see all these different places that a lot of pictures of different places. So
Mhm.
it's kind of my goal too to go out there and go to that destination and take pictures as well. So
Yeah.
that's what helps me.
For your traveling, are there any like multiple routes that you get to choose from? Because I remember when I was younger, we had a very big, I can't remember what anniversary it was. I think it was the 95th in San Jose, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Um, it's okay, great. So we traveled going one route, and then when my dad was taking us back on the road, the other route, we took a longer route, but it was more scenic. Do you prefer to take the long scenic route, or are you like, let's just get there?
For me, depending on the time, I would prefer this more scenic route because I again it takes me a long time to go to my destination because of all the different scenic places that I want to photograph. So
Mhm.
I'm more of a scenic route driver.
Then do you have plan your itinerary to the T then? Like, so like if you were, let's say you're planning to go to, let's just choose a random national park. I don't know. Have you been to Yosemite?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's say you're planning to go to Yosemite. Like, how would you plan your itinerary? Like, do you like to take a 2 day trip or 1 day trip, or what would be your little routine to plan that?
It depends on the last time we went to Yosemite. We were coming from Sacramento.
Mhm.
So going through there and having been there in the past, I knew it was going to take a whole day to go through Yosemite. I actually need more than a day, but we kind of had a goal to get back home uh, the following day. So we did whatever we could to get through Yosemite, but then along the way too, you kind of have to make plans on your stops, your gas, where to get gas, and if you do decide to spend the night somewhere, uh, to research and find a place as well. So
Hmm. Even like I think that's something that we need to take into consideration too, because some people like to travel with their electric vehicles, so they also have to strategically plan out what place to charge up in. So
right.
I think that's something to really take note of is because when I go on the road, I'm just like, oh, well, we're gonna pass by a gas station. But then sometimes you have to make sure like do you have enough gas to get from point A to point B, which is you probably need to get to the gas station. So I like that that advice
I
is just
have
making sure
I actually,
stops.
yes, I just have something about that funny story about getting gas too. It's very important, especially within our states, because our freeways are expansive within the
Mhm.
District of Mountain States. For
Yes.
example, I-70 East, like from when you're driving from Nevada to Colorado, there's actually a stretch on I-70 East where it's 100 miles of no service. So if you
Wow.
pass that certain, so brothers and sisters, those of you who are traveling to Colorado or vice versa, maybe because of some activities that we have in the district, you have to be aware of that stretch of no service, because if you pass by Green River. Okay, pass by Green
Mhm.
River, and then you're almost empty on gas there, and you think that, oh yeah, on the next exit, I'm gonna get gas. You're not gonna get a next exit until after
That-
100 miles after, yeah. And
that's
this
a
happened to
yeah.
us, yeah, just last month actually. It happened to, we knew about it, but we got distracted playing
Yeah.
music in the car and chatting with my husband. So we got distracted. Anyway, long story short, we didn't see that we already passed Green River. We normally stop by Green River.
Mhm.
And then the empty light on the car started popping. So we're like, okay, oh, we'll take the next exit. And then my husband realized, oh no, no, there's no next
Oh
exit. There's not going to be a service. So we had to turn back. But I know to turn back, it would have to be 18 miles. And we had like 16 or 15 miles left on the car. And so we turned off the AC, we turned off
no.
anything that uses whatever energy in the car. It was so scary. And it's also in the middle of summer, so it's very dangerous, brethren. So please beware.
It's funny how you mentioned that area because that we had a similar situation where
Mhm.
we were actually coming from the Colorado side, and when we were at a gas station, I went ahead and GPS and found a shorter route. Not
Mhm.
knowing that route, I didn't know where the gas stations were along the way, and I usually this is from experience. We were on empty as well, and
Oh,
luckily we got to close to Moab, where our destination was to get to that gas station. But oh, it was scary.
oh, that is scary, especially when you're driving so close to E, because sometimes your car is unpredictable and you can use more gas than you're expecting. Or, I mean,
Exactly.
even with traffic, you don't
Yeah.
always know what's going to happen with traffic. So,
So
yes,
as
learn
a
from the
tip though,
experience.
what we do now is whether it's like a quarter of a tank that you're using or half,
Mhm.
we don't go past half. We make sure that we just gas
Yeah.
up just in case.
Yeah. I know that you can also have like that reservoir externally, like a
Yes.
gas tank that you can keep. So that's also
Oh, the
something,
little tank. Yes.
yeah, something to keep
Yeah,
in
I
mind
think we're gonna start doing that next time.
for road
But
trips,
I know
especially.
you mentioned also, I mean, it's funny you mentioned shorter trip, Kuiran, and I'm sure a lot of our brethren in the live chat have experienced this too. So, brethren, if you have any, learning stories in your road trip, not just within mountain states, but everywhere, please share them with us on the live chat too. But I also made that mistake of like choosing a shorter route. Please be careful, especially if you're in the states of Utah or Colorado. When you pick the shorter route, those are almost always back roads, which
Mm.
mean tiny roads, mountainous roads. They will take all the way up to the mountain. They're most of the time one way and no cell phone service. That happened to me. It will never ever happen again. One of the scariest drives of my life. So be careful with those passes and back roads that the GPS would normally give you as a shorter route because they are a shorter route,
Yes,
but you risk many things.
I didn't even realize that. That's something important to take note of. So yeah, if you're just tuning in now, I see some people joining the chat. We're at 24, let's hit 25 and then shoot for 50. Okay. But like Sister Macy said, make sure you're mindful of what shortcuts you're actually really taking. And just a disclaimer, don't worry, at the Macy or Sister Macy is parked. It's just her decor because it's road trip, you know. So she's in
Yes,
the
yeah.
environment of the call.
I'm parked and I stopped. Yeah. I'm absolutely safe. And I guess this is just let's say we did this on purpose, right? It's all about road trip. So we have the aesthetic of the road trip around us.
Love it. I love it. Well, those are good tips and insight, really, with regarding planning your trip ahead of time, right? Something to also mention when you are planning your trips is budgeting. Sometimes we might not expect to spend so much, so you kind of want to make sure you have a cushion there. So when you're budgeting, you want to estimate your cost of gas because in different states, I know this is a very well known fact that Nevada gas price is different from California. So, you know, even it's different from Arizona. Just make sure you compare gas prices to where you're traveling from and going to. Especially if you're planning your gas routes, you want to make sure you budget well. You know how many gallons your tank can hold. That way, you can provide yourself a good amount of gas money. You also want to accommodate for food because you do get hungry on the road. I know after about an hour, maybe even 15 minutes in, I'm like, my road trip buddy is my mom, and I'm like, Mom, do we have any snacks there? So if you're not gonna purchase food, at least pack some snacks, but if you do plan on buying food along the way, set some money aside for that. When you're budgeting for like excursions or any extra activities that are like on the way, I know that there are some, like, you can ride a horse somewhere, like at certain parks, national parks or hiking areas. So if that's like a stop you want to go to, I think Brother Ron has something to add.
Yeah, no, I was gonna add some tips as well for budgeting. Since we've been traveling quite a bit, there are apps that you can uh, join on your smartphone for different gas stations, truck stops, even,
Ooh,
and you'll find out that you can save like 3 cents to 10 cents a gallon.
which is a
You
lot.
Yes, it is because exactly. So I suggest to look up these apps and use them because that's what has saved us quite a bit. I mean, not a whole lot. Um, Another tip too is stay in mountain states because if you go to California, you're gonna find the gas is like a dollar or $2 more. So we've traveled recently up to Utah and it's still cheap. I mean, cheaper than it was here in Las Vegas. So
Mhm.
definitely stay within mountain states if you want to save money. There's a lot to see. And the other thing too is as far as budgeting or just even paying for gas, money, period. Um, we use our debit cards to gas up, but it's happened to me twice actually, where if you don't let your bank know ahead of time that you're traveling,
Ooh,
the bank
yes.
might see that and think that someone else is using your card,
Mhm.
and they'll stop your card from being used. So you may find yourself at the gas pump, and you would either tap or slide in your card, and it won't work. Definitely bring some gas money
Yeah.
with you because it's happened to us
Yeah.
twice already.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll still let them know, like you'll call your bank or your credit card company and, hey, I'm traveling. They're like, okay, great, have fun. And then something could still happen. So
Mhm.
having cash on hand, emergency cash on hand, is a really good tip. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up. Um, with budgeting, you also want to, if you do plan on staying at like a hotel or some type of a lodging, make sure you are mindful with your accommodations and your budget for that, especially booking in advance, right? But you still want to have that cushion in case you need to have an emergency stop for whatever reason, or you need a rest and you would rather rest in a nearby lodging that's not close to your final destination. So make sure you're also accommodating for that. So budgeting is also very important when you're traveling on the road, especially. Another thing that's very, very important for preparation is vehicle maintenance. Okay. This is so, so, so important, right? For me, when I travel, I like to make sure my car gets to a mechanic and does all the things that it needs to do. So, I will get my air checked in my tires and then my tire rotation. I'll make sure my brake pads are okay. I'll make sure my oil is what's it replaced. Everything that's like your essentials, brake checks, your lights, your battery. If you want to make sure I mean, right now, funny story. I say vehicle maintenance. My battery in my car, I'm gonna get it replaced today because it died on me because the heat is so terrible here. It died on me earlier this week, but if I were to travel, that's something that you want to make sure you check your date on your battery. Typically, there's like a letter and then two numbers that'll give you like for me, I have like I and then 22. So I think I is like a certain month, or the letter represents a month, and then those two digits represent the last two digits of the year that it was from. But you can check the brand of your battery and then just search online to see how to read the date of your battery. And it's you can go to shops to get it replaced for free, by the way. I didn't realize that. I got quoted earlier this week, and I I was like, this is a little high. But then somebody quoted me $300 to change your battery. You don't pay that much to change your battery. Just FYI. So vehicle maintenance, it shouldn't be that much. You can even replace it by yourself. There's a lot of tutorials where you can easily check how to change your battery on your vehicle. But if you're not confident in your vehicle maintenance, take it to a trusted mechanic to make sure your car is okay for going on the road. Even if it's like, even when I'm traveling to my sister's in Covina in California, that's about like 3.5 hours. I will still do my essential road trip maintenance on my car because you really just don't know. You want to make sure the vehicle you are using is safe to use and is reliable to use.
Safety first among anything.
Yeah, and not even just on road trips here in town. I mean, can you imagine Nevada and Arizona? We have like 115-degree weather, and you could be stuck on the side of the road.
17-hour day, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
it's really hot, especially right now. It's way too risky to even just test it and take the risk. So just do your regular vehicle maintenance in general. That's super important. Well, in addition,
and it also helps to ensure that you bring some tools, that you can keep in the car as well for your own safety. Of course, the spare tire, it's always important, but you also need to know how to change the tire.
Yes.
Okay, if it's there but you don't know how to change it, so the skill of like knowing how to change a flat tire, whether you're a brother or a sister, I think it's an important life skill to learn.
100%.
And what we have and what we keep as well, speaking of battery, because we deal with battery changes here in Nevada a lot. I'm sure also in Arizona, in the desert states, right? Because it gets so hot. We keep, it's like a portable power bank, those really big portable
Those
power
have
banks.
saved my life.
Yes, and then they have those where you can charge your battery so that at least you can go home if it dies on you. And it also has, you can charge in your cell phone if you ran out of battery or your power. They also have a pump, a built-in pump, so if your tire is getting low on air and you don't have a quick access to any gas station, you can use that to at least put some air in so you can survive and get to the safest spot. So those tools are important to keep.
I vouch for those 100%. My previous car, my battery died a lot, and I know I could have probably gotten an easy fix and just changed my battery, but I was in college. It was like my second or third year, and I was still trying to save, so my battery died on me frequently. So what I invested in was the battery pack, like you said, and they're not that expensive. I mean, between like 45 on a good deal to $70 for the higher price ones, but those are such lifesavers. And I've even had people around me use them. I know my siblings have called me stuck at the grocery store and is like, hey, my car died, can you come down and bring your battery pack? Or my friends, they've used it. The air pump, the electric air pump, I've used it. I also have an emergency toolkit, which has also saved me, and an emergency first aid kit. So having those in your car, they're such good investments. Even if it's not just a road trip, just being on the road in general, those are essential items to have. So make sure you have that, and the skill to change your to change your car tire, right? And to the ability to just jumpstart your car. Those are two essential skills to have alongside the tools. So far, we've talked about a lot of preparation. We are going to go on a quick station break, but for now, we want you to continue to stay alive in the live chat. We are over 25 viewers. We have 26. Let's move it up to 50. Let's see if we can have 25 or 24 more. We asked earlier in the show what your favorite place was that you've ever traveled to on the road and what you love or mostly enjoy about your road trip. So be sure to leave your comments on those post questions so that we can answer and recognize your comments and read them out loud when we do come back. But again, we're going to go on a short station break. When we return, we're going to talk more about road trips and planning the ultimate road trip. So continue to stay tuned here on INC Radio Mountain States. We will be right back. Or not. I don't know. We can stay here with this. I can tell you about my favorite road trip. And while Kuya Tech is getting
since
a break, I'm like, I just hear.
It seems like our station break is a little bit on the delayed side. At the Princess, I just want to acknowledge our team live chat that are engaging with us right now. And I'm happy because we have like representatives from most of our states here in Mountain States. We have the Palusok family from Salt Lake City. We also have brethren in the Nevada region, Sister Remy Mendoza, Sister Helen Revilla, and Sister Nikki Payumo from the local of Henderson. Sister Adora Roncal is also saying hi. She says, "Kumusta po sa lahat, mga kapatid," from the local of Las Vegas. We have Sister Lisa Dialogo saying hello to us from Denver. And of course, Sister Trish Ignacio is here supporting us, as well as Sister Linda Balyada. So our minister's wife are in full support of INC Radio Mountain States right now. We have a quick comment from Kaylin saying, "I love sleeping on road trips." I agree to that.
I love that. Passenger princess privileges.
Right. Sister Norma Sonson have some good tips for us. She said, check your vehicle, keep a small garbage bag inside the car, plan your route, and plan your rest stops. Hashtag South Las Vegas.
Ooh, I love it. Awesome. Well, our Kuya Tech did say that he is ready for our station break. So again, for those tuning in, continue to stay tuned. Invite your friends and your family to also tune in. We will be right back. You're watching here on INC Radio Mountain States.
This is INC Radio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
When was the last time you made someone smile? When was the last time you made friends with others?
Yes, please. Hi, this is Amaya. Hello, Amaya. Let's play together.
Include, invite, befriend. A small gesture of friendship can make someone's day. A message from INC Radio Mountain States Satellite Studio.
Time is passing by so fast. Everyone is in a rush, hurrying to achieve their goals, rushing to accomplish everything we need. At every tick of the clock, people tend to worry about their everyday living. Due to that, we are led to get pressured with our responsibilities in life. As we sojourn in this world, it seems like we are having a race against the clock. But I am grateful because while everyone is rushing with their appointments, my alarm reminds me to kneel and pray. The time when my faith will be all the more strengthened, the love of God will be felt, and my hope will be increased. As members of the Church of Christ, our services to our Almighty God are always our top priority. We are confident because of our Lord God. We always trust in, believe in, and rely on what God can do for us, and that is why we are assured in everything. So don't worry, do not be bothered. Keep your faith strong, spread love, and be hopeful.
Hello again. You are tuning in here live to INC Radio Mountain States. Quick time check. It is 4:35 p.m. here in the West Coast and 7:35 a.m. in the east side of the world. And so You just saw two of our promotional videos. So one being produced by Mountain States and the other by Mediterranean. So continue to support our radio stations abroad. And thank you for tuning in here on INC Radio Mountain States. Now, the past half hour, we've been talking about preparation for your road trip. But before we continue to move on, we do want to still recognize those who are tuned in to the live chat. So we asked you, remember, we asked you if you could share with us your favorite place that you've ever traveled to on the road and why you enjoy road trips the most, or what you enjoy most about road trips. I know earlier Sister Kaylin said that she enjoys sleeping. I miss those days when actually I can't say that, because whenever we travel for our visitations to the other states, I do sleep. I don't really drive, but I also love the passenger princess privilege to just sleep. So I might but I think for myself, if I were to share, or I am going to share, my favorite place that I've traveled to on the road, or my favorite road trip, is the one I kind of mentioned earlier, was the 95th anniversary, where we had a gathering in San Jose. And it was because my dad drove and took the scenic route. Like, it was a really memorable road trip for me, not necessarily getting to, or not the destination itself, but the road trip to the destination. I don't think I'd ever seen that big of a body of water. I don't know what
freeway. Did you take the coast?
I think so. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Highway 1. It's an awesome drive.
Yeah,
really?
so
I remember that 95th anniversary too, because I also remember, I think we also took a scenic route, but I just wasn't sure what it is. But for us, it's probably a little different. We were coming from Utah then to get to the 95th celebration, and we passed by, I remember, like, we passed by Lake Tahoe, Reno. What highway would that be? But like, passing by Lake Tahoe was amazing. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I love seeing the big bodies of water when we're driving on the road. I mean, like, I'm not a beach person, so I don't have the need to, like, want to go to the beach ever, really. But just seeing the big bodies of water, because we don't get that in Nevada. So I think I really enjoyed that. I remember a lot of greenery, like trees, big trees. So just the road trip and the journey itself, it was so fun. And
and that's when you can stop and smell the flowers when it's like that, right? Just take a quick stop, take pictures. You know, because Queeron, normally there's Brother Ron, normally there are viewing spots, right?
Yes,
they
along the way.
viewing spots along the way.
Yeah, those are really fun and really amazing. And you know, I was still pretty young. I would say maybe like around 13 years old when I went. So I would just like sit in the back seat while my parents were talking. It was just me and my parents, and we were in the back of our sedan. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And I think, like, that was when I'm like, oh, road trips are really cool. Because whenever we would travel to Pasadena, it's just a quick we take the 15, and then we take the 210, and we're there, you know. So it's just all road. So I think that was like the first road trip that I enjoyed, and it was scenic and it was emotional. Yeah,
that's why road trips are so great. Because I mean, you were 13, and up to now, you're 21, and you you still remember that road trip, because and that's the thing. These road trips make memories, and that's gonna stick with you forever.
Yeah, you're right. And even the road trips that we had when we were still with Southern California and Southeast, when we would have our formals, those big activities in California, I remember, like, that was when we bonded. First of all, we bonded with our driver, like if it was like an auntie or an uncle, or one of the booklet officers who would always like drive us, and it would always be fun to just bond with them. And then the binhi themselves just bonding, like we would always take like a big 15-seater and we would just play games, like just talk, get to know each other more. So road trips are just so fun. I really, that's for me, that's why I think that's to answer the second question. I enjoy most about road trips is building the connection with whoever we're traveling with. So
Bonding.
that's what I love.
because you have time, because you have time and you're just focused. There's a certain focus on it, right? Because whoever you're traveling with, whether it's for us and the family, we love it. It's like an ultimate family hour activity when we're on the
Yeah.
road trip, because you're just focused on the road and you talk, and
Mhm.
you're not watching TV, you're not.
Yes.
um, Me and my kids, we play. Um, it's I Spy, that game I
Yeah.
Spy with my little eye, and then you just look at the
Yeah.
surroundings to see. So it makes it really fun. And Sister Princess, a lot of our viewers, some of our viewers also have shared their favorite road trip since we're
Yes.
on the topic. Sister Nikki Payumo said that her favorite road trip was when she was with us, the INC Radio team, on our way to Utah. Actually,
Oh.
I agree, that's really fun. And Sister Shay Chavez, hi Sister Shay from Las Vegas, said that Big Sur, California
Ooh,
was a
beautiful.
really good
That's a
road
good
trip
one.
for her. And actually, that's on my bucket list to go and see, because I've never been. And shout out to all of our satellite studios in California. Maybe they can take us there. Sister Trish Ignacio is also commented here. One of our faves is when we drove from Las Vegas to Wyoming. Though it
Wow.
took us hours of driving, the views were all breathtaking, and time spent with family was priceless.
Oh,
That's
yes.
from South Las Vegas. And Sister Melka Newcomb says, hello po Karan Pabletti. It's hard for me to answer your question, but I always enjoyed our road trip whenever we pass the scenic view and we see more of nature. Hashtag Henderson. Sister Nikki also added, the road trips is getting to famous tourist spots for the brethren, and also the beautiful chapels. I think
Yes.
that's right. Yeah, because when you go on road trips, you have those opportunity to make
Yes.
stops when you want to, right? And then you then discover, oh, I wonder where the locale is, because for me and my family, we do that when we stop at a certain area. I wonder where the locale is here. Let's take a quick drive, and then just passing by the chapel, you see it and see the architecture. Okay,
Yes.
that was one of the fun things to do. So it's almost like a badge of honor, right? Okay, we saw
Yes.
5 chapels on the way to
Yeah,
this
it's always
place.
so fun. I love it. I love it. Also, big shout out to Kasali San Martin. Hi, Kasali. Long
Hi,
time no see.
Kasali.
Oh, good to see you. So, yes, I also love all of that, especially seeing the different chapels on the road. I know it's not like a road trip, but when I was in the Philippines, I like just when you're on the road for like 2 hours, but then you'll pass by 5 chapels. So I think it's similarly. I also really love seeing that when we're here in the States. But thank you for sharing so far. We're going to continue on with sharing. We already touched a lot on safety, so we're just going to continue on talking about safety. Really, well. Yeah, no, with safety, yes. So just a couple more things to take note of, because I remember I had a question for Brother Ron with driving on the road itself, not necessarily like vehicle maintenance, but when you're on the road, because there's so many different weathers we experience, like what here in mountain states. Yes, it gets really, really hot, but it also gets really, really cold, especially in Utah and Colorado. Personally, during the winter, when we do visit those two states, I don't like driving because I don't feel like I have enough experience driving on snowy roads, especially icy roads. They always warn you about black ice, and that's one of my fears, is to ever drive over black ice. So, what is your tip when you're driving on those cold roads, snowy roads in the winter? How can we best prepare ourselves?
I would not trust GPS all the time,
Mhm.
because it usually when you want to go from one destination to the other, it'll give you like the shortest route, but it
Mm.
might not be the safest route. My situation with having an RV, I have to also look at the grade of the road if I'm going
Mhm.
uphill or downhill.
What does that
Um,
mean when you say the grade of the road?
so you'll come across signs where it tends to go uphill. The grade it'll be like +8 or something, where
Mhm.
it'll get, there's kind of like a rating where it'll, the steepness of the road. So if you're going up, and you have like for example, for me having a motorhome, I have a lot of weight, so it may
Yeah.
take me, uh I may struggle a little more, and that's
Mhm.
where I have to stay on the right lane. to let the other cars pass me because I'll probably be driving slower.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, especially when the weather's bad, um, likewise going downhill, it's kind of scary because if the weather conditions, like you said, black ice and so on,
Mhm.
you have to kind of watch that grade as well when you're going down because you don't want to like press on your brakes all the time, or you got to kind of have to learn how to use a lower gear so that
Mhm.
you're not using your brakes all the time. So
Right.
those are some of the things to look out for, and really check the weather. Check the weather as
Yeah.
far as as you're driving. Maybe look at the weather throughout the towns that you're going through to make sure that it's not snowing or raining. So I do that quite a bit just because it's harder to travel in a motorhome
Mhm.
versus a car. So
Mhm. Yeah,
definitely.
what you
And if
said too about not trusting your GPS all the time, taking the safest route, not just the shortest route. I think that's something to take into consideration and to print your map because remember, Sister Macy said there's 100 miles of no service. So that's like that can be scary when you don't have your phone to rely on and then your GPS dies.
Oh
So
yeah.
print
And I'm
your
gonna
map.
add up. I'm gonna add up on the winter driving conditions
Mhm.
because it's very important. It really can be dangerous when you are on winter conditions, and we have, I would say, three of our 5 states in mountain states experience winter weather driving. So this is important for our district first and foremost. The type of vehicle. It's really the recommended is 4x4 and all-wheel drive. If you
Mhm.
really don't have that, then please drive a front wheel drive and put your snow tires on. When you get to the winter conditions, put your snow tires on. Rear wheel drive cars are not really recommended because they tend to get you spinning a little bit more. So maintaining and so the type of car and also the tires that you use are very important. When it
Mhm.
is a really snowy condition, it's always a good tip to drive behind bigger vehicles that because they've almost plowed the road for you too. So then
Yeah.
so follow those tracks. If it's fresh snow and it's just all white, you don't know if it's going to be slippery or not. So
Mhm.
sometimes, or if there's a snow plow in front of you, then that's always a good idea to
Just
you
follow
will
that.
just be yeah, you'll just be a little slower in your commute or your drive, but you know that you'll be safe because everything is basically plowed before you. Also, please always make sure that your car has the de-ice liquid that you
Mhm.
can spray on your windshield because it visibility is a big thing when you're driving in winter conditions. And if
Yeah.
you have poor visibility, that could be fatal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when it freezes, you need to make sure you have that liquid so that it de-ices the windshield and then you have clear vision again.
And your windshield wipers. Make sure they're not that hard to replace. I replaced mine too. And mind you, I don't think I'm like a vehicle girly who knows every and all things about how to work on your vehicle, but I do make sure I know the basics. So really like understanding how to change your windshield wipers is so essential because you just never know when you're going to need you can't always like stop by a mechanic or anything, especially like during the rainy seasons here in Nevada. Especially in Las Vegas, we have floods on the road. The raining gets really, really hard here. And so, one thing I made sure I learned was one, how to change my windshield wiper, and two, how to drive in the rain, and also knowing what roads to avoid. The way Las Vegas is shaped, it's like our city is pretty much like in a bowl, and we're surrounded by mountains. So there are a lot of areas in Las Vegas specifically that easily flood. Just an inch, just even like an inch can move your car. So avoid driving in any type of conditions of road that have even just a little bit of rain, flooding. So that you'll see a lot of the times those bigger cars will try to drive through it. But really, it's just better to be safe than sorry. So just keep that in mind when you are driving in that type of condition on the road. So that's a lot of good safety tips, and I think that's really vital when you are planning your road trip. I think another thing that's vital is entertainment. So I know we're nearing an end of discussion, but we need some tips, Sister Macy, when you're traveling with your young
For
ones.
entertainment.
Entertain.
I have one very important tip for entertainment when you're on road trips, brothers and sisters, is to tune into INC Radio
Oh
Mountain
my God.
and watch all of our replays. No, it's really it's important that you spend that time properly. But yeah, that's one big tip. You know, we always try to do that. We try to replay INC Radio episodes from when we are on road trips. But of course, with the kids, you know, that doesn't always keep them entertained. So we need to make sure that there's enough offline items in our gadgets that are
Mhm.
there, because there are many places that have no internet signal. And so if the internet goes and then the kids are like, you know, panicking and anxious about it, then it's going to be a tough road trip. So we make sure that you download some videos, keep them
Mhm.
in your gadget so then they have something to go to, or those online games. And then our favorite is really I Spy. We look at the surroundings and we play I Spy with my little eye.
You know, verbal games that use your observation skills are also really fun. We do like an alphabet game for our car when we're on the road. It's just the ABC game, and pretty much is you have to name signs that you see starting with A and then go in order. So, like if you see like I don't know, the word apple on the road, and then you just say apple, and then the next person has to say a sign that has a B word. So that's something that we like doing as the ABC game. Did you have something, Brother Ron, that you like to do for entertainment?
Yeah, well, I was going to say entertainment's great. Going back to it was mentioned earlier about a power bank.
Yes.
Um, Likewise, if you don't, if everyone has their gadgets and so on, but once you run out of power on your smartphone, everyone's fighting for the power. So it is good to have a power bank for everybody to
Oh
charge
yeah.
their phones and so on. But I would say, road trips and gadgets and entertainment. This is kind of the time to take advantage of just having a conversation and
Yeah.
everyone put their phones away and so on. I
Mhm.
mean, depending on how long your road trip is, everyone has their own playlist that they want to listen to, and they'll
Mhm.
have their headphones. But at the same time, take this time to talk to one another and have conversations. It
I
is family
agree.
time.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that's one way my mom and I got really close, or at least really strengthened our relationship with each other, was whenever we would frequently travel to my sister's house in California. We would just have those nice deep talks in the car on the road, and it'd be hours with each other. So it's not like she could talk to somebody else. There's no one in the backseat. It's only me. So you're right. I do like that. For our younger ones, I've seen those they'll like those binders that have those games, like activities. I don't know if you see them, Sister Macy, but I've seen one mom have a binder where she glued like the building block flat, like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a big square that you can stack building blocks on it, right? And so and then since it was a binder, she was able to open the 3 ring, and then she put those like pencil pouches, and those are where she stuffed the building blocks.
Oh, that's interesting. I think I should copy that.
Yeah, and then in the
Yeah.
front of the binder, because it's like a plasticky thing, she put like that's where the kids would just draw with a dry erase marker.
Because then you can just erase it.
Perfect.
That's really
Yes.
good. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do something like that for our next road trip, Sister Princess, because
Yeah.
these kids, they can only be entertained by one thing for
Mhm.
probably like 5-15 minutes max. After
Yeah.
that, you gotta change it up.
I bet it must be a fun ride with the kids in the backseat, and being able to even just converse with them if they're a little bit older. There's so many things that we can talk about with road trips, especially when you want to go to must-see attractions or different places around mountain states. If you want to explore mountain states, I will say that you have 2 wonderful panelists who have really really awesome places in their heads that they could probably tell you where you should visit if you come here to Mountain States. When you're planning your road trips, make sure you utilize the resources that's not just online. Usually the locals are the ones who have the best spots to visit, is my tip. So if you want to go somewhere here in Las Vegas, a good place to eat, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I've been around all the restaurants here in Las Vegas, and I know some good steak spots. So utilize the resources, research, the best activities outdoors to go to if you want to plan a nice scenic road trip. So everything like that. There's so much to talk about when planning your road trip. But, as we conclude this episode, of course, we want to remember that, our travels aren't just an adventure, but also an opportunity to meet brethren all around the world. We're very blessed that wherever we go, there's always home for us, right? It never feels like I'm meeting a stranger when I meet brethren from different congregations. Usually, if you connect with somebody from a congregation or in a city you've never gone to, they're always willing. I've never encountered brethren who weren't willing to take you out and help you explore. So it's a really, really great opportunity to not just explore anywhere in the world, but to also meet brethren all over the world. And it's also, a wonderful chance to see the beautiful houses of worship. We always need to remember that it's essential to prioritize visiting places where we can connect with these congregations. That way we can always make time for our worship services, no matter where the road takes us. So we're so happy that, we got some wonderful insights from Brother Ron, Sister Macy, two of our travel experts here in Mountain States. And we're happy that everybody has stayed engaged with us here in the live chat. I think we have another minute that we can read some comments. Sister Macy, is there anything that we can read out?
Yes, absolutely. We have here Sister Melka is also greeting Brother Ezra a very happy birthday. So hi, Brother Ezra, happy birthday. Hello po to you, Ka Christian as well. Sister Nikki, oh no, I've already read that earlier. Sister Norma Santan said the best road trip I've ever experienced was when we drove to Portland, Oregon, even though it was scary because we lost signal. Okay, I think this happens a lot, from the roads here in the U.S. Even though it was scary because we lost signal, through God's help, we reached our destination safe and sound. So yes, one very important safety tip to not forget is to pray before heading out the road, please. We have special shout out to Sister Priscilla Batan. Happy watching po from Rizal. Always God bless you all po. So hello, magandang umaga po sa inyo, Sister Priscilla. Sister Trish has another comment here. She said, road trips when GPS didn't exist yet. And so the road trips taught her how to read road maps and actually print the maps that we get online.
I remember those times.
You print that
all the time.
You try to either memorize it.
Yes, that's how he taught me, like the north and south, or like
what you understand. Yes. I remember those days. I used to have prints of like those online maps and directions.
Yes,
those were the days. And Sister Melka agrees that there's no boring road trip with INC radio program. So there you go. And Sister Christian says thank you to all of us here. Thank you, Team Live Chat, for staying with us today. I cannot read everyone, but I'll just mention the names of those that are tuned in. Brother Kevin Thunderstorm from Las Vegas. We have Brother Zane. Hello, Brother Zane. We mentioned Kaylin earlier. Brother Mario Oka all the way from the Philippines, and Sister Remelin. So thank you all for tuning in to INC Radio.
Yay! Thank you. I know that is all the time that we have, but of course we want to give our special thank yous, most especially to our beloved church administration with Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our executive minister, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo, our CEO, President of SEBSI and CFO coordinator, Brother Manley and Dyer, executive producer, Brother Lowell Newcomb, our district minister, Brother Oliver Canlas, our assistant district minister, Brother Christian Ross, who is tuned in here. He is our CFO overseer. Brother Justin Ramos tuned in earlier, our district multimedia advisor, the district multimedia team, and all of you, our avid listeners of INC Radio. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in here on INC Radio Mountain States. Continue to stay tuned to INC Radio DZEM 954, changing lives through God's words. We'll see you next time. Up next is INC Radio Canada. Bye.
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 Happy road trip.
Stay safe on the road.
This is INC Radio, DC